And the last question, we'll give each candidate a chance to respond. 2 minutes, and we'll start with Congressman Perriello. What is it you would like voters in the 5th District to keep in mind as they step into the voting booth on November 2nd?
Well, first of all, thank you everyone for being here today, and thank you for your participation. Thanks to our hosts, obviously. I think the most important thing is that this area deserves a fighter. We deserve someone who's not going to get pushed around or let other people tell them what to stand for or anything else. We need someone who understands that this is an economic crisis for the working and middle class in this country. This is not something where we just need a little nudge this way or that way, or a slogan that fits on a bumper sticker. The working and middle class have been getting crushed in this country for 20 years. We need a fighter who will go up there and understand the working and middle class folks deserve economic relief, and they deserve an opportunity for good paying jobs. And if we understand that the focus needs to be on small business, where 2 out of every 3 new jobs is created, if we understand that we've got to think not just about what we were good at 20 years ago, but unleashing American entrepreneurship for what we can be good at over the next 20 years, we can still beat the world. We can still make it, build it, and grow it in America better than anyone else. And I know there are a lot of people who've given up on those sectors of the American economy, but they are wrong. They are wrong to give up because we can still do it better than anyone else, and they're wrong because there is no alternative. We cannot be a nation just of computer programmers and speculators at the top and minimum wage service sector jobs at the bottom. It does not work. It cannot sustain itself. One of the great ways to turn the deficit around is to take people from unemployment benefits to being tax-paying folks with a job. That's what we need to look at, and it's not going to happen from a little nudge here or a little nudge there. With all due respect to Mr. Clark as well, the forces up in Washington are incredibly powerful, and we see them calling a lot of the shots. We need people who are willing to take that on, not just a little bit this way or vote a little bit that way, but understanding that both parties don't quite get it in terms of making, building, and growing in America again. That's what I fought for. We finally start to turn the tide, and with a little more time, I will keep fighting like a bulldog for the people of Central and Southern Virginia. Thank you.
Jeff, what do you want folks to keep in mind when they vote on November 2nd?
Well, I think we need to really consider doing something different in our country, moving our country in a new direction. Congressman Perriello speaks to special interest groups like somehow they're isolated things out there. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, the 2 largest special interest groups in the United States are the Republican and Democratic Party. They are what foster, they are what enable, and they are what encourage these special interest groups and this meddling in our political system. Until something is done to break the duopoly in Washington, we are going to continue to see corruption, no matter what the intention of the individual politicians are. Congressman Perriello is right. These forces are strong. These forces are inside Washington. But all too often, and I know this happens on the Republican Party, our politicians are asked to sign oaths of loyalty to the party. How can you sign an oath of loyalty to the party and stand there and look your constituents in the face and say that you're going to represent their interest first? We have done this time and time again. We've gone into that voting booth and we have pulled the lever for Republicans and we have pulled the lever for Democrats. And we still see our country in a mess. I don't think many of us can say that, hey, we think our country is in a better position than it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago. The truth of the matter is, until we do something different, until we demand something different, we're going to continue to get the same thing. Many people believe that maybe an independent can't make a difference in Washington, but I'm disagreeing. I believe that by sending an independent, you can send a powerful message to Washington. A message to both parties that says this: okay, we're going to give you other opportunities. We're going to allow you to get your house in order. We're going to allow you to start assuming responsibility and assuming integrity on behalf of the American people. But you see that guy over there, or those few people over there, or that young woman over there? They represent the direction our country can go in. And if you continue to promote irresponsibility, if you continue to engage in corrupt behavior, we will not hesitate for a moment to turn away from both of these political parties and take back our country. Our country was never designed to be governed and manipulated and coerced by 2 parties alone. George Washington in his farewell address warned us of that. And we are seeing the result of that. When you have a 2-party system, we engage in fear-based politics all the time. What happens after 2 years of Congressman Perriello? The Republican Party is trying to keep its focus on a single individual. They are not seeing the forest for the tree. What they're trying to do is they're trying to keep our minds off the overall problem in Washington, and that is corruption. And that is the stranglehold that the duopoly that is the two-party system has on Americans right now.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. We will end by thanking Peter Thompson and all folks here at the Senior Center who worked very hard to create a real Charlottesville treasure. We thank the Senior Statesman of Virginia. And I just want to say, before you leave, I want to thank everyone who was here today for coming out to learn and to ask questions and to participate in our community and in this great democratic enterprise that helps to protect the freedoms we and our children enjoy. My favorite Jefferson quote is this: "Come forward then, and give us the aid of your talents and the weight of your character towards the new establishment of democracy." And I am so proud to be in a room and to live in a country and in a state where people get that. And they come forward as an American, as a Virginian, and especially as the daddy of 2 8-year-olds. I want to thank you all for being here today and setting an example of citizenship. Thank you.